other former U of L and current NFL players, Eric Wood, Deion Branch, and Breno Giacomini, we have partnered with Baptist Health Performance Training to bring you high-quality performance training. Whether you're just starting or a professional athlete, visit BaptistHealthPerformanceTraining.com to learn more about our 2-week trial for just $25, BaptistHealthPerformanceTraining.com.
Louder Than Life, Kentucky's largest rock festival, September 28th through the 30th at Champions Park with 9 Inch Nails, Avenged Sevenfold, Godsmack, Shinedown, Limp Bizkit, Five Finger Death Punch, Deftones, Breaking Benjamin, Slash, and more. Go to louderthanlife.com for all ticket, lineup, and festival information.
Doesn't it make you feel better?
This is Marcus Maven, and you're listening to 93.9 The Ville from the OPC Services Studio.
Yo, Pierre, you want to come out here?
You're listening to Middays with Marcus Maven, broadcasting live from the OPC Pest Services Studio on 93.9 The Ville. Now, here's Marcus Maven and Steve Rummage.
Welcome back. It's Midday with Marcus Maven, 8150. 93.9 is the number. 93.9 is the station. We're rolling along. I had a good time in Michigan. I had a great time getting away. Minus that lopsided score, it was a great time. So being that we're having a show of you need to appreciate what you have, I did have a good time. And we talked a little bit about the football comparisons. I hate getting dragged into the minutia of coach complaint.
Yeah.
I want to ask you kind of a hypothetical question. It's an easy one, but it's just a thought that crossed my mind. I particularly wanted you to address it.
Okay.
When I set the question up to Perrin, I said Steve is not going to be on board, and not going to be on board, and then at the end he's going to be on board.
Okay.
So this is like we say. We'll recap some of the stuff we talked about earlier, being that I have to recognize a lot of people only join the show when they break for lunch, which is 11 o'clock. The management reminded me of that today. Your numbers go up at 11, so yeah, keep a good eye on that.
Okay.
So here's the problem. I was watching the replay, Indiana State, Louisville.
Yeah.
And a thought occurred to me. Just a thought. Not a judgment, not an indictment. I'm watching that opening couple of seconds on the condensed version of the Louisville Indiana State game. You know what I saw? Boom, 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 boom. The lights were on the board, right? Mm-hmm. I look at the camera guy. He has a perfect angle of showing up that tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
Bright red lights, beams. I mean, stuff that will give you a seizure back in that tunnel.
Yeah, yeah.
Then I realized it didn't really look like football to me. You know, we make examples sometimes of LSU get grinding in the backyard by that 1,000-year-old wooden fence and swampy, facilities, right? Looked at it, looked like a light show. It looked kind of Yum Center compared to Freedom Hall-ish, right?
Mm-hmm.
In hindsight, no big deal. But I was here when we got the sack, Jim. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I was here. I've watched older generations always say this new stuff, this glitz and glamour, all this money going into the thing, it softens up the player because they feel like we're already in the pro environment. We're already pros, right? And it was just at that moment of them coming out that lights and glitzy glamour, tunnel. I thought about it. Maybe that's taking a little edge off a little bit, right? So I can feel your attention to saying, no, that's not how it works. They're young. And then I said, you know what? Steve, do you remember when Jerry World opened? You remember those guys walking down that tunnel? And they were like, we're walking through a freaking restaurant here.
Mm-hmm. And
these lights, this feels like a joke. You remember how much Dallas used to lose in the beginning? And we couldn't find out, like, was it a motivation thing at home? Like, what was it about that walk that had them never ready to play? those comparable to you at all?
No. No.
Your football says, I want the lights.
Yes.
I want the cameras. I
Yes.
want the action.
I want every reason for you to put an eyeball on Cardinal Stadium.
Fan or player?
Both. I mean, everybody involved. Fan, player, media, TV.
I purposely used that
Wow.
example at the top of the hour because I just wanted to float the idea. Does older generation football player think this stuff is a little too gimmicky?
I mean, it don't really matter if they do or not. I think this is what you do.
This is what the game is.
Yeah,
And this is how you sell the pro.
Yeah. I mean, the SEC and the Big Ten, they
don't have to.
They run out of the tunnel. They do their thing, whatever. That's fine. But I mean, Clemson releases. Clemson's probably single-handedly killing the ozone layer, releasing 742 balloons into the air every Saturday they play at home.
It's total plastic abuse, isn't it?
I mean, like they that's what you do. I mean, Florida State, a guy rides a horse with a flaming spear in his hand and slams it into midfield every week that they play at home. Like, this is what you do.
A Trojan runs.
Colorado has an actual buffalo.
The Oklahoma Sooners used to come out with a whole wagon trail feel to it.
Yeah.
No, I get it. I just, the thought crossed my mind.
Yeah.
And I thought I might be old folk. But here's the problem with the fact that crossed my mind. I knew I had a problem with myself because I know. Listen, I talk to enough people to know that these are the kind of things that creep in.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't we, more motivated? But here's the thing. You feel like when you say we're still Louisville, it's almost a dig at yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you when you identify the reasons you're not always perennial powerhouses, right?
Sure.
And you know what I thought there was? And we're going to have to take a top of the hour break. Like I said, I wanted to set up the show with this one. The reason you're not at the top, the reason you have impending doom, right? Mm-hmm. You know what it feels like to me? This Louisville fandom feels like automatic bill pay, right?
Yeah.
I'm new to automatic bill pay, right?
Right.
When you get a car payment out of automatic bill pay, Steve,
yeah,
you may have been doing great this month with your finances, right? Mm-hmm. But when you watch an insurance and automatic car bill pay just knock your bank account back down to, you'll be like, goodness gracious, what?
I kid you not.
What happened to my account? My God.
You brought that up, and I'm checking my bank account. I was like, oh man, I did have that coming out today.
See, you see,
Yeah.
Right, like that's my point. Whenever I point out a deficiency of Louisville, it's almost like a reminder
36 cents.
that I had an automatic withdrawal.
What's a cross-border fee?
Listen, I came back from Detroit thinking how good I did, how Jalen picked up the tab on some stuff. I planned on picking up, my own tab.
Oh, never mind. I know what it is. I ordered some parts from England.
But listen, you get my point. Like automatic withdrawal just knocks you on your rear end.
Yep.
No matter how good. Why doesn't everybody do automatic withdrawal? It'll make you responsible, but people just can't take that reminder of who you really are.
I know. Like, I need to just feel comfortable.
Right.
Now look, I'm breathing right. The sun's right. Everything's right.
This account had $6,000 in it. I got $2,000 worth of automatic withdrawals, and it just whoa.
Yeah. Speaking of automatic withdrawals, the wife
and I shopped at Globe, so I got the best deal.
I know I got a good deal.
Right.
Speaking of Kenny, think we got somebody else coming over there for you. So you should be getting a call. By the way, speaking of automatic withdrawals, my wife is craving steak. She hasn't really been able to eat a lot of steak, and she said to tell you we need to make a Ruby's trip now. So
deal.
Yeah, told her okay.
I don't know, that automatic withdrawal.
I know. I know. I just looked at my account. I'm like, my God, my rent just came out. Oh, God.
Eric, thanks for joining me on 93.9, my man. What's on your mind?
Hey guys, this will be weird for me. I want to talk about what you were always talking about before you went to break. And this makes me weird because I'm one of those young punks that grew up with us. You know, I knew from John L. on, basically. And so, you know, I grew up with us winning all the time. But at the same time, I've never once thought we were a power in football. Like, since when is Louisville not, winning 8 games or 9 games not good enough for Louisville football? Louisville basketball, we're a power. Louisville football, we're not. And I feel like people are acting like they're super entitled, and maybe the fan base, and I feel like it's some of the older people in the fan base, surprisingly, maybe it's the old punks, but I feel like we've kind of lost what Louisville is. Like, we're the hunter. We're the one that's the underdog that comes up from behind, and everybody's acting like we're Alabama. Like, we should be Alabama already.
No, Eric, I appreciate the call. We're at the top of the hour. Here's the thing. Here's what you said. The voices that you hear that are old generation voices, you got to remember, some of those old voices still hold grudges.
Yeah,
they haven't let go. They haven't let go of, the Woo Pig Suey, the Atlanta. Louisville fan takes the Atlanta situation and the Arkansas situation personally.
Mm-hmm.
That the one that can't let go of anything.
Yes.
So it's all to them. That was all a dig at Louisville.
Yeah.
Is that a fact?
Yes, I think that's fair.
It's just like guy who judges Patino with all of them, who says, "You're this, you're that, you're the Chris Jones." Guy who throws in Shane Bohannon and Chris Jones as Rick Pitino's messed up. Yeah, Chris Jones was exonerated and Shane Bohannon was kicked off the team.
Right. Yeah.
But still, that's still a scandal.
Well, yeah, and I heard Billy yesterday talking about and he was talking about it on air, so I'm not saying anything. Right. He was talking about the Karen Cypher thing. He was like, I want to hear Rick talk about the Karen Cypher thing. Well, Rick did a press conference about the Karen Cypher thing. What do you want to hear? Do you want the details of what him and Karen Cypher did? what do you... I don't. What do you want to hear?
Right.
He's done everything. So
you're comparing that.
I'm comparing that to the grudge.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think people that have saw a lot, like those guys have saw a lot.
Right.
I can see where they can hold grudge a little bit easier.
Top of the break, got to do it. Midday with Marcus Maven, 8150, 93.9. Quick commercial break on 93.9 Ville.
Chances are you've recently talked about it.
It's finally here, and we're stocked with all the craft
an official broadcast partner of the University of Louisville. WLCL Sellersburg is 93.9 The Ville.
Time now for an ESPN Louisville Sports Center update.
Got about a minute and a half. And Hallville Sports Center update brought to you by BJ Heating and Cooling. Call the experts you can trust, bjheatcool.com. Yesterday, Louisville running back Jeremy Smith met with the media following practice, and he talked about why he decided to return to Louisville.
This offseason, I had a child. I had a little son. When me and his mother basically squared everything away, he's good. He's at the point now where he can she can kind of manage things on her own with the help of family. Now that seems like the time I can go out and do what I need to do with my wife and still have a relationship with him.
Louisville running backs coach Kobe Smith also met with the media, and he talked about why he decided to play Jeremy Smith.
When he came in 2 weeks ago, the whole deal was getting him in shape. We know what type of player he is. We know the experience he has. We like the edginess that he brings to the room, and we felt like he was in good enough shape last week to where he can carry the ball.
The Louisville men's basketball team announced today that they will be doing their annual red-white scrimmage, and it will happen at the KFC Yum Center Sunday, October 21st. The National Director of Recruiting for ESPN, Paul Biancardi, met with our very own Jason Anderson on our sister station, ESPN 680, yesterday, and he talked about the commitment of four-star forward Jalen Withers to the Cards.
He can shoot the three ball, and he shoots it pretty well, and then he can get inside to the rim and finish. Good rebounder, great athlete. He brings that four-man with the versatility, not so much to handle it, but to score it with the jump shot. He can beat you with a drive. He's a good mismatch.
Last night, three-star defensive end Ricky Barber from Dawes High School committed to the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers, and he chose the Hilltoppers over Cincinnati, EKU, Indiana, Purdue, and Yale. And last but certainly not least, Louisville City FC lost to FC Cincinnati last night 1-.
Is broadcasting live from the OPC Pest Services studio. Now, here's Marcus Maben and Steve Rummage.
Welcome back. It's midday with Marcus Maben. 8150 93.9 is the number. 93.9 is the station. Steve, I'm getting hungry. I am getting kind of hungry. I don't know why I get so hungry around this time every Wednesday.
I do. Because it's Which Wednesday at ESPN Louisville. Man,
keep going, Steve. Keep going. Fight through it.
Thanks to Jason and his team for bringing about Which to the ESPN Louisville studios. Two great locations at Old Brownsboro Crossing or at 221 South Hurstbourne Parkway. Try the ESPN special, Large Which, for just $6.80. Promo code is 7 days a week. Pick up something good for the family, cater for the office, or tailgating for the games. Order online today at whichwich.com or download the new app, Which. Superior sandwich.
Gotta get to these phone lines. Gotta get to these Bill Edscords and Sons Collision Center hotlines. Starting off with Dan. Dan, thanks for joining us on 93.9, my man. Fire away.
Hey, guys. How y'all doing this morning?
Good.
I'm calling to kind of respond to that the last caller that you had. And first of all, I am a little older than a U of L fan for a long time, and I'm going to assume that he was a little bit younger.
Right.
I'm kind of getting from what he said is like it's kind of a, well, who do we think we are attitude. Am I correct about that?
Yeah.
That's the vibe. That's the vibe I got.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen. I've been a U of L fan since going back to coaches you guys probably don't even know. We have put up with a lot of mediocre football. If you want to be satisfied not being one of the big boys, and by the big boys, I'm talking about Alabama, Ohio State, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know that it's not easy to reach that point. I get that. I understand that. But to say that, who do we think we are? Well, you are who you think you are. Now, one of the big differences between us and the big boys, and I've said it many times on the air and to other people, the fan bases at these bigger programs, they absolutely will not tolerate losing. They won't do it. And that's something that the U of L fan base hasn't learned yet. I mean, this is a business. Just win, baby. You're paid to win as far as a coach is concerned. Now, he mentioned the fact, well, we are a powerhouse in basketball. But, I go back far enough to I remember we weren't a powerhouse in basketball either. Even with the likes of Wes Unseld and people like that, we were a good little old cute team, but we weren't considered a powerhouse. But we are now. So, I could never understand this little brother attitude. It's almost like, that we want to be little brother. Now, if you want to be little brother or whatever, and you want to complain about, well, we never get it, the big conferences won't take us and this and that, we've used that for an excuse for so long. Well, that's no longer an excuse. Now, if you want to be little brother, go on back to CUSA or become a UK fan. I mean, they're satisfied with winning 6 games a year, okay?
Do you think let me ask you this. Do you think our ACC record over the past 4 or 5 years is a little brother record?
It's not as good as I would expect with Bobby Petrino.
Would you consider a little brother record though?
I don't know. That's a tough question. It's been an average record in year 5, which we are right now. I would expect to be at least a player, and we're not. And this goes back to the coaching situation. I think this should be a hot seat year for Bobby. I really do. And it's not that we lost to Alabama. I mean, Alabama is very, very good. I understand that. But we lost to Alabama by 37, Marcus. We should, in year 5 with Bobby, we should not be losing to 37 points to the New England Patriots. We just shouldn't be. So, I kind of want to respond to that guy and to the rest of the fan base and just tell them, we need to shed this little brother attitude. And, oh, by the way, as far as old people holding grudges and Bobby is concerned, I haven't forgotten the planes that set down at Taps Airport at Auburn and that kind of stuff. So we actually owe Bobby nothing. He's on a very, very short leash. Just win, baby. Just win, okay?
No, listen.
Fair enough.
I appreciate your call, Dan, and I could not have paid you.
But that was the point.
To end the argument exactly how you ended it. Dan, I don't know if you were listening, but the entire point of that entire conversation was that there's a group of older fan base that have not forgotten.
Well, the point from our end.
From our end was the guy that still remembers, in particular, the outside of Louisville moments that left a bad taste in your mouth.
That's why I'm very cautious, and I always have been, about when you start talking about old get off my lawn guy. I'm like, they've been around.
Yeah,
for
get
a
off my
lot
lawn
of
guy
stuff,
has something that stings him.
Yeah. Like you've been around for a lot more than I've been around.
Right, a lot of this fan base is not stung by Michael Vick. Dog fighting. I got to leave Atlanta because I realized a year earlier that this thing is going to fall apart without Michael Vick, and I want to coach. I'm not happy in professional coaching, and this Arkansas job is a SEC job that I could turn into something. Like, let's not forget that. We remember Atlanta complaining about how they heard about it.
Well, we had the argument. I think the perfect argument was we had the Cincinnati-Memphis argument one day. You and I, we had the who would you play, Memphis or Cincinnati?
Right.
And I think you could see a line there where there's a lot of people, around 35 and under was like, I don't really care about Memphis all that much. I mean, like Cincinnati though,
right?
Kenya Martin and
right. I want Cincinnati,
and Huggins and everybody, and there was a lot of other people that said, Memphis.
Right.
Are you
like,
kidding me?
Like every Crumb era guy, I want Memphis.
Right.
I remember the bus ride. I hate Memphis because of this. Even Rick's first, couple of years, I want Memphis.
Yep.
People wanted Memphis.
Yeah. You've been around for a lot. That's what, not you. Well, you have been around for a lot too. Saw a lot of ball.
Sneak them on in.
I didn't mean it. Okay.
Damon.
Let's go with it.
Thanks for joining us on 93.9. Fire away.
Hey, folks. I've been listening to the show, the whole show, man, and I listen all the time. I don't know. I understand what y'all talking about, but that's not me. I don't relate. Well, my question is, I called in before the Alabama game and talked to you guys and said if the offense couldn't score, it's a problem. And Steve, I think you agreed with me, and that's what I saw. I'm not saying that Bobby Petrino should get fired. I'm not one of those dudes that's ever going to call for somebody's head. I think there's too much money involved for people to be making the decision to keep a losing coach. So I'll let other people say that, but I'm just looking at what I see on the field. And the narrative has been that Juwan Pass was a top-rated quarterback. He's been here for 3 years. He's more of a Bobby Petrino-style quarterback than Lamar was. And now, me and my brother, he's a UK fan. We sitting in the house watching the game talking about it, and he says it looks like when you had an old John Madden game and you were losing to the computer and you put the receiver at quarterback just so you could run the sweep with a fast guy so you could win.
But doesn't college basketball look like that nowadays?
Yeah, it does.
Let me ask you this.
What I'm saying is, do you have to pay Bobby Petrino to do that?
Let me ask you one other thing.
Yes, sir.
With Juwan Pass, how much leeway do you give him for it's different from being in the system to getting real life full game starting snaps like a whole game? Does he get any of that?
Definitely understand that. But at the same time, I say that this is a narrative that was pushed onto the fan base, and the fan base is reacting to it. And a lot of it came from you guys, man.
Right.
And I'm saying that it's going the same way in basketball. It's like maybe you guys are so enthusiastic, and I'm enthusiastic about Louisville, and you got me thinking that we're going to come out here and be world beaters in basketball. And so if anything goes wrong, then people are thinking, well, wait a minute, what's going on? And it's like, it's like I want to call in all the time and say, please stop talking about VJ King.
Right.
Because you're creating a Wayne Blackshear situation. And it's like the same thing with Juwan Pass. I was like, don't tell people he looks good in practice. Please. Don't. And that's what I think's happening. But I do understand the fan base expecting a better product from Bobby Petrino, a guy that we're saying is an offensive genius in a year 5.
Right.
And the expectation being lower this year than it was the season that he got hired. That is a hot seat situation. Now, I don't know if it happens this year, but I just leave you guys with a question like, what can I hold as a legitimate expectation for next season's team, since that's what we're saying the build-up was to?
Right. No, Damon, listen, I appreciate the call. I got a couple of responses to that. First and foremost, if you listen, you know that I say enjoy the sport, enjoy the process. The reason I say this guy has good signs, good signals, and the reason I don't like to do the end of the year expectation is because a season, a 5-win season that takes you 5-6 games to get it together, and then you end your offseason like a gangbuster, like when Lamar Jackson closes that year against Mississippi State. You get it rolled. Like, it doesn't happen instantly. When we're talking about Juwan Pass being good, we're saying he has the potential to be awesome immediately, but you can gamble on Juwan Pass more long term than than most of the quarterbacks in college. Like, if you were gonna bet your money, you'd bet on Bobby and Juwan working it out. I don't gamble, so I don't say he's gonna be ready day one. I'm saying there's a strong possibility he can be ready day one. But here's what you can't factor in. You can't factor in the Tua. Not when you're down to Alabama, you can only call five different plays. You can't really predict all things. Like okay, you're gonna make me wrong about Flacco.
Right.
You could not factor in the Lamar Jackson light a fire under your arse, Joe Flacco. And you can't tell me that his improvement had nothing. Was this Joe Flacco for the last 5 years? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But see, here's the thing. Stats don't put in motivation.
Yeah.
That's why Vegas tears you a new one every weekend.
Yeah.
Because they can't factor what makes a team concentrate. They're not factoring in when Vegas did the line. You think they looked at the weather and factored in 3 different rain delays? They got hosed on it. They made $1 billion because everybody, saw the Louisville kind of looks like they can do something against Alabama. They're gonna work this team. These are things you can't plan for. I can't plan on how long it's gonna take Juwan Pass to get caught up to real football full starter speed.
Well, and I think one thing, and we did warn of this over the summer, as much as I hyped him up, I said he's also, you got to remember, he's a sophomore starting his second game ever. This could be your guy for the next 3 years. And if I'm projecting out, Juwan's a pretty good quarterback.
For 2-3 years.
For 2-3 years.
Right?
I mean, you're in pretty good shape. I mean,
and another thing, that's why I brought up the point about maybe you need a 5-win season. Maybe Dan needs a 5-win season. Maybe Damon needs a 5-win season. You know what I'm saying? Just to say, okay, 5 wins, finish strong. Because we talked about it. We said it before, Steve. The Lamar Jackson Heisman year.
Yeah.
By the end of the year, it was the worst year that we've ever had.
I know. But I also remember cautioning that morning. I was on the pregame show. And I said, the only thing I will say.
Think about it. They wanted to fire Bobby for having a 9-win year.
On the Kentucky pregame show that morning, I said, I will say this. Watch how you talk about the Orange Bowl. Because if you lose today,
it's not a guarantee.
No, you're not going.
Yeah, right.
You're going to wish you was in the Orange Bowl, and that's the same scenario. I see here real quick. I do want to say something. Bobby Petrino said on the teleconference a few minutes ago.
Why are we not taking a teleconference?
Because you said you didn't want to.
I said I'll never take his teleconference again.
Well, we don't really take it live. It's kind of one of those things where the live audio is a little shaky because it's people calling.
Is it the live audio or is it our suspect equipment?
No. Like what it is it's you tune into a phone teleconference and it's like next up on the line is Mark Berman.
You mean like we took the
Roanoke, and then there's like a long pause and he's like hello, and they're like oh yeah Mark you're ready to go, good to go, and he's like all right, this is Mark Berman from the Roanoke Times, and he's like, and then he asks his question, and then there's like a long pause because Bobby then gets back. Right. So it's just a lot of dead air.
No, that's a good point.
That's funny. But he did say Juwan Pass did practice yesterday and is cleared to play. He'll make his decision on a starter later this week. So that's where we're at. If you were wondering where we're at with the quarterback situation, that is where we are.
Are you tied to the hip to Juwan Pass?
Me personally?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm making the decision, yeah.
Keith, thanks for joining us on 93.9, my man. By the way.
Hey, good morning, guys. I didn't hear a lot of the conversation, but I got to catch Dan, and I think that guy, I hate to say it, but he's delusional. If he thinks that we're little brother because we lost by 31 points to Alabama, and that he thinks 8-4 in the ACC average, well, let me tell you something. I guess we better add Wisconsin, Florida State, USC to that list of little brothers. And if anybody thinks they're little brothers to UK, they're delusional. Everybody that plays Alabama in that first game gets schooled. Just the way it is. You just got to suck it up and move on. Last week was, just we're not going to find anything out of that mess. Nobody is. I just think people need to be patient. These calls for Bobby to be gone, who are we going to bring in? And if we bring in, this is not the basketball model where you bring a new coach in and you recover fast. We bring another guy in, I don't care who he is, it's another 3 to 4 year process. And we're back, 3-4 step back, another 3-4 years. When we have a pretty darn good coach, he's building it. It takes time. People have got to be patient. We didn't just, Bobby was winning those games in Conference USA and a little bit in the Big East. We're in a different league now, and it takes time to build up to that. We've been here 5 years. We're, kind of new. It takes some time. We have to be patient. And I, if I point fingers at anybody, it wouldn't be so much at Bobby, because he hasn't forgot how to coach. Maybe he's not got some of the position coaches he needs in certain places, and I'm not talking about family members, because I can, who knows if that's the case. I'm not going out there. I just think that we're being not very realistic when we're complaining about 8-4 records. Coming in, and the thing about it is, we came in and we've done okay for the brand new guy on the block.
No, Keith, that's a fact. I appreciate the call. Here's the thing. Try this, Steve, if you can.
Okay.
Tell me, even if you can go off the top of your head, tell me who the longest tenured coaches are in the ACC.
In the ACC,
football
coaches would have to be. I mean, I'm off the top of my head. Dabo probably.
Mm-hmm.
Cutcliffe would probably be.
Georgia Tech.
Paul Johnson.
Syracuse
has Babers. That's not.
That's
NC
new.
State just hired a new guy a couple years ago. I mean,
yeah, you get my point. Like stability,
Bobby.
Right,
5 years.
Stability matters.
Yeah.
Like you brought up Coach Crum. I said,
Rick is new. Fuente's new.
You brought up the basketball, but you know what, you had stability, and you like to look at Coach Crum as he was just always a winner till his last 3. No, there were some bad years where it just didn't click, where you had awesome players on the team, and you know what? The reason we can't wear black jerseys is because you were going out early in the first round, or game 2. Like that happens. It happens 2 years, but what you don't do, like I know you don't want to hear it, but again, Tennessee fired Fulmer for winning 9 games, and it's 20 years. And you know what people do? You spend the next 20 years talking about how crap you are.
Yeah,
almost to the point where I have to block, and I have to take this format of I'm not letting you just trash without an explanation to trash, on a team.
Yep.
Because I said it on Drew's show, the funniest place is a bathroom of a losing team, right?
Yeah.
Because everybody is boisterous about a bad football team.
Sure.
Even good football teams, you find ways that you should be better.
Yeah.
Right? But it's not settling. It's respecting a good program when you have it. Because like I said, just hypothetically.
Yep.
Detroit was 9-7 last year.
Right.
They got eliminated on the last week of the playoffs.
Oh, I know. Because I sold out. I sold out on Jalen. And I needed him to lose.
and you know what that bathroom is like?
Yeah.
Begging for Caldwell.
Yep.
They were 9-7. Mm-hmm. He had 2-3 years.
Mm-hmm.
When he took it over, they were 2 and God knows.
Wait till you go to a Toronto Raptors bathroom this year. What have we done?
Right?
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, go to a Florida State bathroom.
Yeah. I know.
Go to a Michigan bathroom.
Well, and
Michigan, but
I think the same thing.
They suck. They just suck.
Yeah, but I will say this, man. Michigan, the one thing Michigan fans I think you will see, I think they know. Look, Hardball's solid.
Oh, I knew I was going to get this one. Philly Carl, thanks for joining us on 93.9, my man. What's on your mind?
Man, you got to get these crazy Louisville fans, man. You got to make them understand something, man. Look, man, you can't judge the game off of Alabama. I mean, you can't even judge Louisville off of Alabama. History has shown in the last 8 years, Nobody beats Alabama unless you have a mobile quarterback. Quarterback has to roll out the pocket, be able to throw. That's why Johnny Manziel, you can cam up. You know what I mean? You got to have and even Deshaun Watson. Those are the only teams that beat Bama. If you got to stand in the pocket quarterback, you don't beat Bama. You just don't have it. So people need to look at that. Now, if you had Lamar this year, it'd been a problem because, like I said, a mobile quarterback murders Bama.
No. Listen, Philly. Listen, I appreciate the call. Listen. I don't beg for a mobile quarterback. If a 6'5" light touch pocket passer can get it done, but my 6'5" light touch pocket passer is on his second real game. His only other game action was like Kent State, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then like think about it. He hasn't had a game with normal conditions. And people, regardless of if I hear you want to say, oh well, all the games are played. No, you don't play. It's an anomaly if you have 5-6 games in the rain, in heavy rain, a year. You don't get that. He hasn't played one game under normal ACC conditions. Between Dome, North Carolina State, those aren't cold places. Syracuse is a dome. Pittsburgh is going to be crappy, but you don't play Boston College. You rarely have a driving rain in Boston.
Yeah.
You know what you have? Cold, misty, gray Seattle weather in Boston, right?
That's fair.
You don't play teams with bad weather very often.
Okay, that's fair. And now look. See, I agree with that. And is what I'm trying. Sorry, I'm thinking of something else right now.
Think it through.
Okay, because I'm thinking of something else because I'm thinking quarterback situation, a few things that looks different personnel wise. So we'll go to that in just a second. But I agree with what you're saying on the schedule part. Actually, I'm gonna move to this real quick because I want to talk quarterback.
I'm listening.
Okay. We watched Juwan pass. Okay, for the first couple games.
Right.
Now, I'm going to be very, very cautious how I put this out there. Okay.
Just throw caution to the wind, Steve.
I'm going to throw caution to the wind.
Go ahead.
Who do you feel like on this team has gotten the least amount of targets? If there's one player on this team, you could say that guy needs more targets. Who would it be? Think about it.
I got one.
Think about it.
Des Fitzpatrick.
Des Fitzpatrick. Am I right? I mean, because that would be.
I'll go with it.
That would be the name that I think in both games you would immediately go to. Okay.
Right.
All right. Now, I'm going to take this point from a friend of mine. All right. So but I'm not going to give him credit.
Right.
Okay, I'm not going to give him credit.
If he's a friend, he doesn't need credit.
Okay, all right. I'm not going to give him credit for it, but I do feel like this is a strong point and I don't take a lot of points and just bring them on air.
And just rip them.
But me and you talked about something. How did Juwan look in a spring game? Good. We liked Juwan in the spring game, did we not? Did you not think he looked sharp?
Looked all right. He
was solid.
Yeah, he was
because when my friend asked me this, I said, I'd say about a 7 or 8 because I think he was solid. But I did walk away impressed. Now, Malik did his thing in the spring game too. He was running because, again, I think Malik – I stopped it. I did it. I almost did it. Malik Cunningham, I think, is a weapon and an asset for Louisville. Mm-hmm. Okay, now here's the deal. Juwan looked good in the spring game. I think he feels like he has not taken a step back, but hasn't been as good here. Who was missing in the spring game? I'm being very, very cautious how I do this.
I don't remember.
We had an injured receiver that was playing the top receiver position now. Who's playing the top receiver position right now?
Jalen Smith.
Now, the only reason I bring this up is because the day after the Alabama game, you and I both said we've got to have more from Jalen because what he's bringing to the table right now is not working.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm suggesting that maybe Puma issue has more to do with the placement of the receiver than Puma. Okay? Are you following me here? I'm trying to do this very cautiously, but I do feel like this needs to be made.
No. I'm gonna jump in and you tell me am I right or wrong?
Okay.
Because I've said it and I've jumped off the cliff. I said it when I compared Jalen Smith to Dingadell, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I was saying is I think Jalen Smith tiptoes on those crossing routes. I think he tiptoes around contact.
I agree.
I think you need people. You need who's my Louisville receiver that went to Pittsburgh, used to catch everything Teddy threw across the middle.
Eli Rogers.
Yep. Like, I need my guy who's going to go up and catch and sacrifice.
Sure.
Who's not looking around. I think Jalen Smith gets a scare, he's coming off a wrist injury that he thinks it cost him his money. I think his appendix situation is where he costs him money. I think he needs less snaps to get his heart back into it. And I'm saying that in a rehabilitation way. Not that you don't have heart. I'm just saying right now you're not putting all your weight on your left leg.
Yes.
Just as a matter of speaking.
Absolutely.
You haven't Ray Spalding. You're not letting yourself explode.
Right. But here's my point. I like Jalen, okay? And now we're getting into a little bit of football nerd talk, but I mean this is what I think is the issue. One of the reasons, and I've told you this in private, said one of the reasons I think Louisville will be so good next year is I think that Des Fitzpatrick will move into a different position. I think that is the case. I think it's about time.
So do you, if you see that and you're strong on that,
I'm very strong.
Do we have to take the caller who says this is a Bobby thing?
Well, no, yes. No, I think that there's little, but my point in saying all this is I think that that's how close you are to fixing.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. That statement, when you get nerd talk, people realize that you're always, like, think about this. You saw with your own two eyes a quarterback come in and look like an entirely different team.
Yeah.
It looked like everybody was playing harder. It was a different thing, right? But every time I say Louisville's one fix away from being a great, awesome team.
Yeah.
Right? You see it with your own eyes.
Yeah.
And then when you do when you look at the overall stats of that game,
yeah,
they suck. Right? But when you add the explosion of the rushing attack in the third quarter, you saw different teams. You saw some things. You learned some things that may work. You learned Javian Hawkins has to play here. You learned Hassan Hall has to get this touch here.
Yeah.
You learned who can deal with a bubble screen and catch it and run with it, and who can't. Like, you had to learn some things.
Absolutely.
So yeah, when you see the tenor change in a game, admit that can happen.
Yes.
But you still got to blame Bobby for not.
Well, no, I mean, it's not, but it's not so much a blame thing.
It's a time thing.
As much as, I mean, what if I told you that one switch at receiver is going to make the world a difference? And I think it would.
Not to mention, we also said that these receivers know each other's position, so you would be able to.
Absolutely. I mean, I think we would all agree Des Fitzpatrick's the best receiver on the team. I mean, if you don't agree with it.
He drops that pass again, I'll kill him. Rain, I don't care about Rain.
No,
I'm not allowed to say that you're my guy.
I agree. I mean, look. I mean, I know, but
until you muscle stiff arm somebody,
I said it Monday. I said, look,
he's the kid I'm not going to talk to. Like, he's your kid that I'm so disappointed in you that I'm not going to talk to you right now.
Look, I said it Monday. I said, I said, okay, Des never drops balls. But I said in a quiet room, I said even Pops Fitzpatrick would be like, catch some football. You know, I mean, like,
his dad probably pinched the hell out of him.
Sure, yeah. I mean, like that's fine. But I mean, I do say, I mean, I think little things like that and little movements like that is how close you are. I think to saying, okay, here we go.
Does Trey Smith still start at running back?
I mean, if I'm coach,
yeah,
no.
Who starts?
I like Colin Wilson. I think Colin Wilson's looked good. Jeremy Smith looked great the other night, of course. And I like
You know
Jeremy
what I
Smith.
hate, too? You know what I hate? I hate when you got ballers. And what I mean by that is baller is hard to read.
Yeah.
Baller is LeGarrette Blount, you know?
Sure.
Baller is Marshawn Lynch.
Yep.
You know what Jalen told me? I don't know if I should say this out loud or not. But he says, Marshawn Lynch walks around, practices with his thighs wrapped in retention bands.
Yeah.
At the bottom of his thigh, almost at his kneecaps. He practices. He says when he's just standing there, his knees are completely locked together. He says they don't really mess with him during practice. They don't ask him to do a lot.
Yeah.
Because he's running with retention bands, physically holding his legs together. And he says they look like they're cutting off his circulation.
Yeah.
Right? But he's such a baller that it's like, dude, we know you're going to be ready when the time. But it took them a while to just say, hey, we know you're going to be ready.
Yeah.
But we'll leave you alone. And we'll stop trying to make you pass pro this and read this, and just let him be a runner. I think there's going to be some, Bobby, you're going to have to increase the competition.
Sure.
And let people figure it out.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Who on this team right now, Jalen, your spot's not safe. Okay, right. Jalen, we're gonna put you at the 2 guy. We're gonna bump Dez over. We're gonna bump Seth over. We're gonna do something.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, running back, nobody's safe. I think that's clear. Quarterback at this point. I mean, I'm still pretty bullish on pass. Now, until pass proves me wrong, I think I'm very bullish on he's a guy.
And I hate to, like I said, I know we've totally derailed on nerd talk, and we'll probably have to take one more quick break before I take my bow. We're gonna have to take a public bow on what we did, what we were able to accomplish. So
sure.
Here's the thing: you hit, that first pass, you hit Dez, he drops it, then you soften up the next pass.
Right.
Like I always hate when you have a bad start. Because it's like the rest of the game sometimes is not indicative of how you came into the game. You came into the game prepared. He catches that. You get the first down. We're rolling. We're running up, jogging to the line. We go boom, boom, boom. We score.
Yep.
You drop that easy one. Now I'm lighter on the touch. I'm a little less heavy on everything I do. I thought that hurt Lamar Jackson a lot too. Just sometimes, I shouldn't have to lighten up on my pass if it's getting to you.
Yeah.
If you're a supposed to be professional receiver. Quick commercial break. Then we'll celebrate into the show. Midday with Marcus Maben. 8150 939 is the number on 939 The Ville.
Marcus Maven, or ESPN, your appraisal is absolutely free. So give Jill a call today at 502-773-0546. That's 502-773-0546. And let her help you today.
Ever wanted to be behind the wheel of a UPS package car? Here's your opportunity to get your foot in the door. UPS is hiring for its preload operations in Louisville. As a preloader, you'll help our drivers load their vehicles and get packages on the road and out for delivery. You'll also be able to bid on package car driver job opportunities. If you're looking for a part-time job and career opportunities, we've got a job for you. Are you ready to get on the road? Apply now at upsjobs.com. That's upsjobs.com.
Chances are you've recently talked about it, or thought about it, or might even be thinking about it right now. You're thinking it's time to upgrade your vehicle, and boy do we have the place for you. Globe Auto Sales. Family owned and operated, serving the greater Kentuckiana area since 1972. Why Globe Auto Sales? Well, the answer is simple. The staff at Globe Auto Sales focuses entirely on the quality buying experience, not the high-pressured sales pitch you get at other places. So while you're thinking about it, stop by Globe Auto Sales located at 5705 Bardstown Road. Check out their inventory at Globe Autos online. Oh, and be sure to tell them you're a friend of 93.9 The Ville.
Everyone has a different experience when it comes to buying a car and getting it serviced. I can only tell you about mine when it comes to the Huffman Auto Group. It's been fantastic. I bought my Acura TL from Neil Huffman Acura at Oxmoor 4.5 years ago, and it rides as well today as the day I drove it off the lot. I've driven just about all the luxury brands out there, and the Acura by far has been the most reliable, and it's not really close. The service at Huffman is right up my alley, too, because you don't have to make an appointment. You can just show up, grab a snack, a soda, and work from their lounge on their Wi-Fi. I'm getting ready to go over 100,000 miles on my Acura, and all I've had to do is the regular maintenance. So whether it's Acura, Nissan, GMC, Volkswagen, Subaru, Mazda, Chevy, Buick, or Honda, Huffman has it. Here's the other great part. You get 2 years of maintenance on any new or certified used purchase. Plus, even after you purchase it, you have 7 days to like it or exchange it. So visit neilhuffman.com today or stop by. My guess is your experience will be as good as mine has been.
Hi, I'm Circuit Court Judge Derwin Webb. In 1959, a sharecropper named George attempted to register to vote in the local Tennessee election. Because of the Jim Crow laws and his fifth grade education, he was denied the right. Yet, he persisted. He studied to retake the test and was denied again because of another requirement that he could not fulfill. Yet, he persisted. He studied once again and came back with a group of friends. Before he entered the office, 2 men with weapons drawn told him to leave and never come back. Because of his act of courage, he lost his job, his home, and was kicked off the farm where he lived and forced to move to Indianapolis with other relatives. I know George well because he was my grandfather. So when you think of the importance of voting this year, think of my grandfather and the other George Webbs that made the sacrifice for us all to vote. So please, please vote.
This is Drew Diener, and you're listening to 93.9 The Ville, live from the OPC Services Studio.
You're listening to Middays with Marcus Maben, broadcasting live from the OPC Pest Services Studio on 93.9 The Ville. Now, here's Marcus Maben and Steve Rummage.
Welcome back. It's Midday with Marcus Maben. 8150 93.9 is the number. 93.9 is the station. People, the Miller Lite Louisville football pre and post game shows. Louisville looks to keep it winning on Saturday night when the Cards host WKU. Go Brian. And the most pre and post game coverage is right here on ESPN Louisville. Join Mark Ennis Saturday night from 5:30 to 7:30 for the Miller Lite pregame show live from Caboose number 5. And then directly following the game, it's the Miller Lite postgame show, where the first place that takes your calls to hear from Bobby Petrino as well as sound from the locker room. It's only on 93.9. We will also have the WKU call of this game with coverage on ESPN 680 and 105.7 at 6:30. So, Steve, Rumor has it, you stabbed me in the back.
Okay.
That was the rumor at first.
That's fair.
The rumor circulated. I gave it some time.
Yeah.
By the end of it, I'm glad I didn't overreact.
Okay.
Rumor had it first. You took all the credit for landing one new commitment of Jalen Withers.
Okay.
That is so unfair and untrue.
Okay. Yeah.
I helped.
You did.
Admit that I helped. Admit that I was in the basketball office.
Yeah.
The moment Jalen Withers from North Carolina and his father, who played for UNC Charlotte, admit that I was there to greet them. Admit that I was there to talk basketball. Admit that I was there to replay our praise directly from the show.
Yes.
Admit that before Jalen Withers got here, that I said, numbers like that, potential like that, Jalen Withers is my guy and he has to be here. Admit that we dealt with so many people saying, if we don't get him, I don't know where it goes from here. Admit that you heard nothing.
Yeah.
How in God's name in Louisville, Kentucky, do you get a stock rising 4-star commitment and nobody talk about it? I mean, rumor is you talked about it a bit, but I asked around, what'd you think about that news? You know, oh, well, I listen to so and so. I listen to so and so. Okay, cool. Don't hurt my feelings. Everybody downloads podcasts. We are, by the way, the second most downloaded podcast in this not the studio, in the whole station.
Oh yeah.
We're coming for that number one spot.
Yeah.
Brian, you have to do something with the podcast to get us that number one spot. I do not like being number two in anything, but I'm just giving you the heads up. But you know what, Brian? I think because our YouTube channel,
people like listening to the intro. We don't put the intro in it. It's a long intro.
Yeah, don't put the intro on. Let them go straight to work. I will say this: our YouTube channel is growing very fast. So I think,
where y'all at?
I think you lose numbers, but
okay,
I think you lose some podcasts because sometimes people just go to our YouTube channel and rewatch the show.
I do think that's a possibility.
And I will start cutting up the YouTube channel to make it shorter, more digestible for people who just want to hear about a certain subject in particular.
Sure,
I will.
You got to factor in both downloads too, because you have the 939theville.com, and then you have SoundCloud.
Right. So I just want you to be aware that we're coming for the number one downloaded spot, and you do lose a little bit of podcast love. So people, right now, I have to say, our channel is We Are Made for the Ville. Every time we have a show, you can just live drop in on Steve and I, and we move around a lot too.
We do.
Like we're actually in here, getting it done.
Yesterday, I got so excited talking about the recruitment of Aiden Agahan that I had to stand up. Like I was like, I cannot sit here and
you didn't
Steve did, and then I felt awkward, so then I had to stand up.
You didn't have it on film.
I know,
because you still haven't went and got that $20 webcam that I asked you to get 1,000 times.
I know, that's a lot of money. $20 for webcam.
But you'll give Cattleman's
34 yesterday.
Yesterday, you gave Cattleman's $34.
Well, my wife wanted a steak. She was like, this isn't what I want. It was good, but she was like, I need something better.
Spend $24.76 on a webcam.
We'll see.
We can up the production value, Steve.
We'll see.
It's important.
But we did talk a lot of recruiting. We talked a ton.
I was over at the basketball office when they came in.
Yeah.
I watched them play with the team. I watched them come here. I watched Donovan sit around. I watched Trey sit around. I watched Coach. I talked to everybody. I was there for 3 hours, Steve.
Yeah.
And it was just awesome, man. I just looked at that kid, looking in his face and said, dude, this is where you need to be.
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing.
Make it happen.
I might have cursed a little bit when I said it.
Yeah.
Like, why would you want to go anywhere else?
Right.
Punk.
No, you made it happen.
You made it happen.
You made it happen.
So why wasn't it news?
It was. We talked about it for about 25 minutes on
Well,
Monday.
okay. Well, I guess you're the bullhorn.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. You know, I went back and kind of looked at the tweets and looked at people's narratives. And here's the thing. And I'm gonna just end the show on this one, people. I know you talked about it, but I didn't really get it. Wait.
Can play for 4 minutes.
Okay, well, okay. So people.
Perfect.
When you saw that coach going after our number one target, who supposedly wasn't recruiting our number one target, why didn't you hold people responsible for that? Because I know if a coach that I endorse says something and then a couple of weeks later he's doing the exact opposite, I watch you bombard and say this coach is not an honest coach, or the coverage on this coach is not being honest. Oh, you're just trying to, cover for. If I said, hey, my coach didn't want to tell everybody he was recruiting because he didn't want to look bad. Oh, no, he's just a liar. He's a liar. Right? That's what I hear. Where are you at now? Why aren't you holding these people accountable who didn't even talk about the Jalen Withers? Like, you didn't just get the top up and coming 4-star like it wasn't nothing. You got him on a tsunami weekend. You didn't need the weather to cooperate. I told you didn't need the weather to cooperate. Why is Steve the only guy talking about that? What's up with this? I need answers. I need you to act up. I need your help. People, I'm getting ready for my Which People YouTube channel. We are made for the Ville. Every day it's running, people. Every day. 8150-939 is the number. For texters who enjoy texting, we're reading it. We're text back. 3831-939 is the text line. The reason this show rolls so smooth is Bill Etzkorns and Sons Collision Center. Is Globe Auto. Is Jill Blessinger and Becky Bleemer. Keller Williams, Caliber Home Loans. Windows Plus, keep it rolling. And you can help us out too. We can help you out.
Kenny, I'm coming to get my car today.
And we're going to get vehicles at an alarming rate. There's a reason, people. They don't really pay us enough, but you got to add the Kenny element. I'm sure your boss doesn't pay you enough either. That's what you got, Kenny, from Globe Auto.
Or pay you in general.
8150-939 is the number. 3831-939 is the text line. 10 to 12 is always the time on 93.9. They better pay.
Is that all right with the music? Well, technically play out music. We're supposed to do a minute, but you never finish in the minute window. So I just downloaded a full instrumental and then let you go as long as you